The first marsupial I've encountered on the island is the Prosoptodon vivenculus. Standing nearly 3 meters tall, it is among the largest jumping creatures I've heard of. It is a fairly peaceful herbivore that will immediately flee when aggressed upon. One of the Prosoptodon's most unique features is its pouch. Unlike many pouched marsupials, Prosoptodon's pouch is relatively dry and has little in the way of sticky bodily fluids. I assume this is good for the joey, but I have not figured out exactly why yet. Its other unique feature, powerful hind legs, can knock back aggression much larger in stature. Prosoptodons show great precision when leaping, as if they can accurately target the landing without fail. I've seen them effortlessly hop and land from heights that would flatten other creatures. It seems Prosoptodon's knack for carrying things has increased its load-bearing capacity. Prosoptodon's dry pouch makes it an excellent beast of burden that can carry far more than any other creatures of its size. Additionally, it appears to provide an optimal environment for nourishing babies, so much that upon maturing, they have even more vigor. I really need to visit Rockwell more. It's so energizing to be around someone of his experience that still has so much excitement for his work. And talking to him always helps me gain perspective. As for the island's ecological abnormalities, Rockwell reassured me that I was doing calculations. He made a great point. Just because this place doesn't follow the scientific laws we're used to, doesn't mean it follows no scientific laws at all. After all, science is about discovery, and new discoveries can invalidate old principles. So before I latch onto my theory, I need to gather more empirical evidence. Otherwise, I'm no scientist. Pteranodon wyvernus is a large pterosaur, capable of flying more quickly than any creature I have witnessed on this island thus far. It seems to have relatively poor stamina in comparison to its quick speed, however, making frequent pit stops on the beaches before taking off again. While other humans I've seen on the island still insist on calling it a pterodactyl, this is inaccurate. Pteranodon wyvernus' poor fighting and defensive skills mean they are likely to scavenge any number of dead animals, rather than engage in dangerous combat with creatures. They also flee at the slightest sign of trouble. Because of this, they are one of the most common creatures to be found darting across the island's skies. Pteranodons seem to be among the most popular flying companions from what I have witnessed, possibly because they are relatively easy with a slingshot or bow. Mounting a pteranodon must be among the fastest and safest ways to get around the island, with any measure of secrecy in comparison to travel on land through the Ichthyosaurus curiosa is a comparatively small carnivore found in the waters around the island. It is slightly larger than a human, but that's still small compared to the leviathans roaming these waters. It seems to be very interested in any creature around it, often approaching humans swimming through its waters. Despite its appearance, the Ichthyosaurus is neither a fish nor an ocean mammal. Like many creatures in the waters around the island, it is actually an aquatic reptile. I can't think of a better mount for someone starting to explore the island's seas and waterways. Ichthyosaurus is a comparatively fast swimmer, and even in the wild will cozy right up to you and try to figure out what you're doing. Taming these is actually pretty easy, as they seem to love humans and will be fed and tamed without the use of violence.
Sadly, my freer curry trials cannot begin immediately, as the volunteers have time. After all, I couldn't very well carry every one of them on Archimedes. Yes, the Argentavis could clutch one of his talons, but I would practice to be barbaric. The rest of the Ark may be embroiled in feudal savagery, but a gentleman always maintains his class and dignity. At any rate, I must have my assistants renovate the guest compound. Naturally, I would never let strangers into the manor proper, but there's no reason their stay should not reflect my civilized standards.
There's nothing special about the diet of these tame creatures when compared to their wild counterparts. Part of that is the Beast Queen's doing, as she takes them on regular hunting excursions for training purposes. Curiously, they never have to range too far. There is an abundance of prey nearby, despite the size of her pack. That this is held true, regardless of her domesticated creature's remarkable birth and growth rates, makes it even more unusual. Oh, and I did finally get her name. Li Mei Yin. She's gotten a little less blurry, too. In hindsight, maybe starting by studying her feces just gave her that impression. Kairuku waitaki is an amazingly docile and friendly creature to everything but fish. Honestly, I'm not quite sure how Kairuku manages to stay populated across the island's colder climes, with the many predators stalking these frozen lands. It is weak and only has one small defensive trait. Suspended in Kairuku blubber are small, dense particles that act as a light form of armor. Adding to Kairuku's problems, a clever survivor discovered that refining Kairuku blubber, concentrating the particles in it, can yield a natural polymer utilized in advanced tribes' manufacturing processes. This has caused many tribes to hunt Kairuku extensively, a practice colloquially known as Kairu clubbing. There is no reason to tame Kairuku for combat, since they are useless at it. Still, Kairuku are regularly tamed for their cuteness and friendly nature, and the fact that their bodies run extremely hot. Just standing near Kairuku can help a survivor stay warm through long, harsh nights on the icebergs.
I can't be certain when you'll find this slither of thought. Perhaps it will be the first one that touches your mind. Or the last. Cause and effect. I can follow through reason. But time itself, that takes concentration. Seconds. Centuries. Decades. Hours. Minutes. All these bleed together into a swirling torrent. It wasn't always this way. I know. I know that. Once time passed for me as it did for you. But now I cannot be sure how long I have been waiting. Only that it has felt eternal. The past, the present and the future matter insofar as their effect on everything else. But for me, concepts, variables, not illusory, but not tangible either.
Occupying a space in the low to middle end of the food chain, Electrophorus beluardomito is a carnivorous swimmer that feeds mostly off of shellfish and small fish. Despite its common name, it is actually a very long knife fish and not an eel. It does not provide much meat, so many predators simply leave it be. Unlike most predators, it does not use brute strength to bring down its prey, but instead releases an electrical charge around itself to knock its prey unconscious. Alone, this can take out a small creature. When attacking together, Electrophorus can even bring down the larger ocean life forms and then feed as a group. By far the most common use of Electrophorus is to subdue large ocean creatures. Knocking out a plesiosaur or other giant deep-sea leviathan can be incredibly difficult. Thus, many tribes employ small schools of Electrophorus to shock them into submission. Like the Carnotaurus, Baryonyx aquafulguar is a large carnivore, but not large enough to rival the island or its predators. While not as powerful as some deep-sea predators or Spinosaurus, Baryonyx is an extremely fast swimmer who is still sufficiently nimble enough to threaten most creatures in the island. And yet, despite being a fast, dangerous dinosaur, Baryonyx almost exclusively consumes fish and other water dwellers. The highly specific metabolism of Baryonyx seems to allow it to heal wounds almost preternaturally fast after feeding on nutritious fish meat. Perhaps this is why Baryonyx rarely attacks land animals. Baryonyx's natural affinity for aquatic predation means that once tamed, it learns to kill ocean dwellers even more efficiently. Between its speed and its power, Baryonyx makes an ideal choice for anyone interested in frequently moving between water and land travel, and who values speed Residing almost solely within the island swamps, Diplocaulus natatori-nutrix is a small amphibian that primarily eats minor fish. It rounds out what I consider to be the middle bottom of the ecosystem, feeding on the tinier, non-insect creatures of the island, while itself being a common snack for larger carnivores. Because so many creatures prey on it, Diplocaulus has become very skittish and often flees at the first sign of trouble. It uses its amphibious nature to escape from whatever environment its predator isn't native to. Diplocaulus' unique capability to retain vast quantities of oxygen allows it to effectively remain submerged for hours at a time, usually outlasting even other amphibious creatures that might otherwise prey upon it. There are only a few uses for tamed Diplocaulus. It is primarily kept for the rather disgusting practice of employing Diplocaulus as an oxygen bag. Diplocaulus stores air in the bladders of its head, and divers can suck from these bladders to take deep breaths while submerged, supporting long-term underwater respiration without the use of external gear. Surprisingly, Diplocaulus is also extremely efficient when it comes to hunting predators.